Hey everybody, welcome to Comic Line, the show where we talk about something that Sal told us to think about.
It's true.
What were we told to think about this week?
Star Wars. So yeah, the question is is Star Wars over? And the reason why I'm asking that...
culturally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or does it only have downward to go?
Right. Because I've seen a lot of chatter, especially in regards to diminishing returns for the ever-expanding universe of Star Wars under the Disney banner. I think the idea being, when the prequels came out, everyone was like, yes. And then they came out, and 80% of people were like, no.
Disney must have looked at that model and looked at a few franchises. I'm going to point at Harry Potter. I'm going to point at Lord of the Rings. I was going to just go to those. I was going to go to
Lord of the Rings
things
and Harry Potter.
that are from
Other sources.
a greater
It's not
fandom,
theirs,
in a sense,
yeah.
right? Like, it's not theirs. They're just checking it out. What are they doing, right? Like, the Marvel thing, they kind of made work, right? But I was going to say, right? But and the Marvel books are like from one source, but at the same time not from one source. Whereas like Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, and Star Wars to some degree are kind of all from.
Yeah, right. Like Ant-Man isn't chapter 36 in the Marvel Cinematic Universe
right. And so
overall book.
The
it's
way
more like whereas Harry Potter's like chapter 1, 2 through 7, the end.
Right. Now, of course, you have like these other things that they decided to do with Star Wars. But all right, so you look at those other franchises, right? They all have an end. And you know it's coming. Like, regardless of like Lord of the Rings being 3 movies and then Hobbit being 3 movies, but still it's 3 and 3, and you had no idea the Hobbit was even coming. So
you also knew it was over too. Like once the Hobbit comes out, you're like, cool, and that'll be done.
Right, exactly.
We're not gonna make the Silmarillion next.
Exactly, and with Harry Potter, they had. I guess 8 movies because the Deathly Hallows was 2.
Yeah.
But you knew that it was the chapters were coming to a close, and so there was some desire to go and see them because this wasn't going to go on forever.
Right. Plus, you already read the book and you were excited.
Yeah,
to find
and
out,
so
how'd they do it in the movie?
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like that with Star Wars, when the prequels came out, I think the mania came from we hadn't had Star Wars.
Yeah, it was a drought of Star Wars.
Long.
Yeah.
And so now we have a flood.
Yeah.
It's feast or famine with this franchise, right? And the problem is when there's a feast, I don't have to show up to it all the time because I know it's going to go on. You know what I mean? Mentally right now, I'm not thinking about the fact that you're going to stop someday. I'm just you just keep putting something out. Cool, whatever. I don't know when that's going to stop.
Well, when there's a feast, the sharks will come and then there'll be blood.
But you know what I mean, though. Where when there's oversaturation of something, it loses its specialness.
Yeah, it's not special anymore. It's not anticipated as much.
Yeah.
Because it's I already had the excitement of that thing.
Yeah.
Even the prequels, they were only out every 3 years.
Right.
Yeah. So there was time to come on, even though it's I kind of know what I'm going to expect, but maybe it'll be better.
And those also have a diminished. That is an ending too. You know that the prequels, episode 3. I know how that's got to end.
Yeah, and that's going to be it. And so when The Force Awakens came out, it was that was an all new excitement for everybody because we hadn't had it in.
Yeah, we hadn't had not an ending.
Yeah.
For a while. We haven't had episode 8. Who knows?
Got a decade in there where we haven't had a real Star Wars film.
Yeah.
Right? So
even longer since we had a good one.
Yeah, but a lot
and
of
there
us
was
were
reason
done.
to think it might be good.
No, I know.
Because it was a whole new team.
It was a whole new
maybe
team.
so you let yourself get hopeful again.
Yeah.
Well,
a new
it's
hope,
something
if you
that
will.
you love.
Well, and you also were
you
able
wanna
to,
like it.
any of your lack of excitement from the prequels was galvanized by the fact that you didn't like the prequels because of the creative vision, so now that there's new creative vision.
Right.
Holy
So
crap.
chance.
You can manufacture the mania that was for the prequels, for the new ones, with an expectation from a new creative source.
Yeah.
It was just another George Lucas owned movie.
You'd be like, all right, well, whatever.
Well,
I guess I'll go see it.
It's going to be the same thing.
Yeah,
It wouldn't be as exciting.
No.
Yeah.
Or fresh.
But I think that even when The Force Awakens came out, it was it wasn't nearly as excited as people would have been if Episode 8 came out in 1999. Episode 7 came out.
Definitely the anticipation for it, I don't think matched the anticipation for
No, but it was also, there was less time.
Yeah, it's true. They didn't wait as long.
Return of the Jedi.
There was less time.
And that's the thing, though. That's the problem. I mean, they're waiting less and less and less time between each thing now.
And so, as much as, I enjoy the concept of the Star Wars story, I think that's what's ruining a lot of the excitement for the main film.
How do you address the question of how does Marvel do it? because they have a universe of established characters,
Yeah.
and they're able to seemingly go back to the well over and over again multiple times a year.
I'd say
Right.
that their universe is actually a little bit more widespread than Star Wars itself.
That's true.
Star Wars
It is.
focuses on very specific characters, and I think Marvel has a much diverse population to draw from and many different types of stories to tell.
They also
I
have like
agree.
80 years worth of stories, whereas
Yeah.
Star Wars has 30.
It's arguably a lot easier for Marvel to just like, what do we got?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You literally
I
have-
could cobble together.
You have libraries of,
Yeah.
of sources that you could draw from, and most of the time they
It's-
just do whatever they want anyway. So it's like you can just take that.
Right, and it's also easier to blend genres in Marvel than as much in
Yep.
like a Star Wars story. Like
You
there
have like a Campbellian hero's journey space opera, since Star Wars isn't really a science fiction movie.
no, exactly. But it's
Yeah.
just like, yeah, you can do the heist, you can do the adventure, but like,
It's automatically relatable to people in the same way that like a Mission Impossible movie is, because it's like set in our world.
right.
It's just a little bit different. Whereas Star Wars, it's like you got to get into a whole thing. It's
Yeah.
like I got to put myself in that world, and some people don't want to do that.
That's true.
You know, like Iron Man is way more accessible
Yeah.
fundamentally than Star Wars.
Oh, sure.
And more
is.
relatable, because like you have to then make the world that you're creating in Star Wars more real and more relevant, and by that you have to add more details, and the details I think are where Star Wars falls apart. And where it's like, how's their sound? How are their like? How's the Force work?
Yeah, you don't
know?
want to
Right.
pull that thread.
But that's the thing, like, but it doesn't when it was just 3 movies about this 3 people, it didn't matter.
No, it's true, and I think that that's a good point too. Is that like Star Wars is built off the backs of a select amount of characters,
Yeah.
yeah.
and I think what we like about it. Now, I'm sure there's gonna be people who argue it, but like I think a vast majority of moviegoers like those characters, and they know those characters.
Yeah.
And so when you start spinning out from beyond that, like it starts to wane because it's not necessarily the universe that a lot of people like to be in. It's these people's stories.
Yeah.
Well, they're
it's not built
archetypes.
on the universe.
Yeah, that's the other thing, is that they want to see themselves go off on these adventures, and it's hard to do that when you're making a Django Fett movie.
Right. Whereas with
I don't know who that is and what he does, and I don't have any relatability
no,
with
it's
him.
it's true.
Look at what happened in China. Like they don't care.
Right.
Like they fundamentally don't care.
Right.
And it's that kind of like. And if it was another science fiction franchise, you'd be like, yeah, of course not. Why would they?
Right.
Like, because science fiction is just hard
Yeah,
to
like
get
what Valerian didn't
people
work well
into.
in
Yeah.
Tunisia? How is that possible?
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
so why would we think that? Well, because in Star Wars, though, it's like they don't care. If you don't know, if you're not already into Star Wars, like you don't care.
Yeah.
Right,
No,
you
it's
know? So
true.
we shouldn't really expect that it's going to be as big a thing. And to me, you can fix it, but like you can't spend the money they're spending on it because you can't expect
Yeah.
a huge blockbuster returns. You got to spend on it more like it's just a regular sci-fi movie that you're just like hoping to break even,
Yeah.
and maybe do a little better than that because
Right.
Star Wars in there.
Or
Yeah.
like I said, like pull back on the Star Wars stories. Like, do I want to see like a cool Boba Fett movie?
I would watch a
That'd
cool
be
Boba
kind of
Fett
fun,
movie.
right? Sure. But like, here's the thing: how many people who are an average moviegoer are going to want to see a cool Boba Fett movie?
Well, how many people wanted to go see the Han Solo movie? And Han Solo is one of those beloved characters that everybody kind of wanted to see in Star Wars. And then they made one about him, and most people were like, see ya.
Right.
Well, I think it was because
It's
Star Wars had
optional.
already fallen apart by then.
It could be that. It could also be that the average moviegoer is like, but that's not Harrison Ford.
That's true.
And I know
Yeah.
who Harrison Ford is, and that's not Harrison
Yeah,
Ford.
if Han
It's not
Solo
really
was a cool
him.
character but played by nobody,
Yeah.
You'd be like,
Also,
meh.
I mean, the marketing was terrible. It was horrible.
it was.
oh yeah.
They spent too much on the movie. If they hadn't like overspent on it, it would have actually probably been a successful movie.
Yeah.
From a just
A
making
profit
money.
standpoint,
Yeah,
yeah.
from making profit.
Because I think it still made money, but it was more like, but not as much as they expected, and certainly not more than they spent.
And probably
Right.
more just from the diehard fans who are trying to fill out, like, I've seen everything. I need to know it all.
There's a lot of completists and like and just diehards
Yeah.
that go see these movies now.
Well, you know what's interesting? It's like, on the one hand, we're talking about like, is it dead? And like, are they overdoing it? And all this stuff. And yet, in the back of my mind, I'm like, but I can't wait to go to Star Wars Land.
Yes.
yeah.
That
Absolutely.
is the key. And this is where I think Disney really is making the best decision for the company. I don't think they care about making the movies. They care about making merchandise. Because the more merchandise, that's where they make all of their money along with the parks.
Yes.
Movie sales, fantastic. All that does is push the ability to put Star Wars merchandise and Star Wars brands on different things.
More theme parks.
I think I heard a commercial for a Star Wars branded Ziploc bag.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, they do that. They
Yeah.
put,
But you know
Ziploc
what?
will put anything
There's
on their bag.
less than there's
Look-
more
look
of
out-
that than ever before.
I was gonna say, look out for the ComicPop Ziploc bag.
Hey.
But I think that's all they care about. They're pushing so many movies, and they're saying, give us whatever you have. Yes, we'll make it as good as we can or as good as we want, but all we really care about is pushing Star Wars out more into main culture so that more people are aware of it and more people are buying into it.
So you think that like the one movie a year model isn't because they think that Star Wars will make them a bunch of money via the movies and because like those movies are accessible to people. It's because those are affordable commercials for the brand, making Star Wars continue to be relevant.
I don't know.
Because I remember before 1997, before the re-releases, the THX remastered versions, there was very little Star Wars out in the world.
Yeah.
And that much Star Wars you could find was in very niche areas. Statues, models, occasional toys, but the action figures, you could only go by the old stuff.
You couldn't go to Toys R Us and see like a wall filled with Star Wars.
Well, you can't do that now either.
No.
Full circle.
Statues, t-shirts, model kits, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
The problem with that is I'm seeing so much Star Wars merchandise, and it's there is no quality control.
Yeah.
It's like it's on everything. Like it is on Ziploc bags, but it's also on like knockoff Ziploc bags that don't retain water. Like you also have like it's on pillows, but it's also on like cheap 10-cent pillows.
Yeah.
It's on action figures, but they also are really cheaply made now. And
It's like the 10-cent stuffed animal you get in a claw machine.
yeah, but it's got a Jawa on it at the end.
No, if
like,
you want,
buy it.
if you want the good stuff, you gotta go to Disney World.
Yeah,
which we found out when we went because it was
they
just
were making like really high-end stuff, and it's like, first of all,
it's the whole range.
how often am I going to go to Disney World? Secondly, I can't afford all this Star Wars stuff at Disney
you
World.
better
here's the
start
thing.
saving up.
I mean, but if I want to fill my room with Star Wars stuff, I can just go to Target and spend like half
but
the
it's
amount.
not the same stuff. It's
But
not
it doesn't
exclusive.
matter.
But they're
It's all
still
Star
getting
Wars.
profit.
Yeah.
Disney is still seeing money from whatever you buy.
I'm gonna first of all, I think that the Disney thought that the movies are gonna work as the Marvel model. I think they legitimately thought it was going to.
They were like, we can do that because they do.
But at the same time, I do know they're merchandise hungry because like I know that on like when we were in Disney World, you could get the Disney app, and there was a Disney shopping app which anyone can get, and you could buy products from the Disney parks, and you might be able to get them other places, but then like you can see things that are specially only available in the parks, right? But it's just like their entire like design in that sense is for merchandise, but not just for Star Wars, it's for everything.
Right, yeah, they're not going to not make money on merchandise.
Oh, yeah.
for all their
I'm not
properties.
saying that like Disney's some evil faceless corporation because they desperately want to make a dime off of Star Wars. Like there were Jar Jar Binks electric toothbrushes, okay, and George Lucas got every penny from those.
Oh no, absolutely. But like
right into his goddamn pocket.
all 12 cents of that unsold.
just a landfill full of them. Oh, we're gonna die. But no, I think that legitimately they did think that looking at like what Marvel and Feige was able to do, they were like, it's Star Wars.
The movie division of Disney was like, we can do that. We want to do that. Like we think we can pull it off.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I think that.
But the reason it got greenlit and the reason here's the thing. Was the movie division of Disney like, we can do a movie every year? Or were they like, we can do some movies? And then everyone, Disney Corp was like, okay, can you do a movie every year? And
right.
No?
Because we really need you to.
Right.
As part of our overall strategy.
Yeah. Well, it's like, and if you can't make a movie every year, then at least have a show out that bleeds over the movie schedules.
Right.
And then they canceled Clone Wars, and then they made the Rebels show, which is arguably pretty good, by the way.
Which they had that, but they also had that Lego show too.
They had that terrible Lego show, and now there's another show. They just ended Rebels, and now they're starting a new show. And it's not the Clone Wars third season, which is just going to be like a wrap-up season. It's not actually like a full new show. It's not going to spin out into Clone Wars season whatever.
No, they're going to probably do like the Samurai Jack model.
Yeah, they're going to end the show.
Yeah, which is just.
But there's another show that's just about X-Wing pilots that's coming out.
Oh.
And it's like,
do the X-Wing books.
Yeah.
For the show.
And it's between...
People love those books, man.
Oh, yeah, they do. I know. I kept seeing them on the shelves going, why? And then it pulled a half loop. Like, I don't want to describe a space battle. I want to see
12 pages of describing the infinite detail where how these ships move through a three-dimensional space I can't fucking see.
But so they are doing it. It's just but ultimately, I think that the you could have wall to wall. You could force Target, Walmart, and every other store to have a Star Wars section. All the Star Wars merch is on this wall here. Out of 4 walls in the building, 1 wall is dedicated to Star Wars. And if those movies do poorer every year,
Right, it's like
then
diminishing returns.
it will just be bins of unwanted merchandise.
I think they do want the movies to succeed.
I think they do too, but it's like, but they also don't seem to care.
Well, I think they care a little.
I think they care as much as they need to. Which isn't like diehard fan, like I'm only doing it for creative content.
They don't need it to succeed as much as we do.
I was going to say, I think they care now.
Well, yeah, because they're seeing a vocal amount of reaction.
Yeah, like I think that they thought they were too big to fail,
Big time.
especially after Force Awakens.
Yeah.
They're like, look what Abrams did. Look what we
got a
did.
hit on our hands.
Yeah, and then The
We
Last
can't
Jedi
lose.
split the entire fan
Well, no,
base
it went
in half.
because then like Rogue Squadron came out, or Rogue One.
Rogue One.
Rogue One. Rogue Squadron would be a cool movie. I want to see that.
Right?
Rogue One came out.
Rogue One came out, and people were like,
Oh.
all right.
And by the way,
what?
I appreciate how that movie like almost really worked, and how
Yeah.
like the ending was like really dour. But I'm like, wow, like that's not a Disney decision.
No.
You know what I mean? How to end that movie?
They just like go and do whatever.
Yeah, do that. And you know what? Like that's like one of the last most creative things they were allowed to do.
Yes.
But
Because it had to have a finishing point too.
well, they
Right.
had like you didn't
They
have
didn't all
to.
have to die.
You didn't have to kill everybody.
Yeah.
But they did.
They did.
And that's kind of cool.
I mean-
And I didn't even by the way, I don't even know if I wanted them all to die. I'm just saying, like,
Boy, because you're not like a bloodthirsty monster?
Well, that's
I'm
true.
not sure if I wanted them all to like explode.
well, yeah,
in a
I'm not
fire.
sure
I
I wanted
did.
the protagonists that I was expected to enjoy and follow throughout the entire 2-hour adventure to be then slaughtered indiscriminately.
Yeah, no, you'd have to be a monster
That's
to
true.
like not ask yourself, did I want them to die? No,
I want them
of
to
course
die?
we didn't want them to die.
No, but like I also
No, but it makes it beautiful.
Yeah,
I guess. It's certainly like
something.
it's artistic.
They did something,
It was a
yeah.
real decision.
They did it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there was some pushback. I'm sure Disney's like, do they
Yeah.
have to all die? Like, yeah, no, it's
Yes,
sad.
no, here's why they have to. Here's the type of movie I'm trying to make.
Right.
It's a suicide mission. It's not a suicide mission. They don't all die.
Right.
Change the whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay,
but
go
Disney's
ahead.
like, but who cares? Like, I can imagine Disney exec being like, but whatever. Like, make it the Wild Bunch, but it's happy at the end. Like, oh, well, why not just do that?
Yeah, but it's not.
But why aren't they in the next movies though? Why don't they show up? And it's like, well, but who cares? They go to an island and retire.
Okay,
You don't
hang
have
on,
to
but this
explain
isn't
why
the
they're not in the movie.
this
No.
isn't the point. So like, but then when Last Jedi comes out, and it was just like, uh-oh.
So divisive.
And then Han Solo comes out.
Yeah.
And Han Solo was riddled with problems from the get-go. So I
Yeah.
think at this point, I like to think that Disney's like,
We need to have some real oversight on this property.
we need to have a series of meetings that no one's going to want to be a part of.
Well, they made some decisions and they had some bad luck, and it came together
Certainly.
like a perfect storm to screw them over because
Yeah.
they screwed up the marketing for that movie before The Last Jedi came out.
Yeah.
Because everyone heard about everything that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were like playing catch up
Yeah.
from that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And then it comes out after a controversial movie in the fan base when it's
Yeah.
like, you really needed your fan base to be united behind this movie
It's
as much
true.
as they could be.
Yeah.
That didn't help. And it wasn't that long after it, so you didn't have time to build the anticipation for another Star Wars movie. So
Right.
there's just so many factors.
Yeah.
I think they were afraid
Yeah.
Working
to
against
I
it.
don't think they were afraid to risk the anticipation. I think they were like, if we've pissed off everybody
And we make
with
them
this
wait a
movie,
year.
and then they wait a year, they might not come.
No, people's memories,
Are very short.
they're short. They tend to get,
Yeah, I think you're better off hoping that their
That they
memories
forget.
yeah.
change.
Yeah, that's
or-
true. That's
I-
true.
Yeah, but
Or
don't forget the prequels.
Yeah, but you
do,
still
though.
went and
You
saw
counted
them. Or at least
against
I went and
the-
saw
I
them.
saw them all.
Yeah.
Not on
Yeah.
opening day.
And
though.
it was kind of just like, maybe it won't be so bad because it had been
Oh,
a
no.
while.
I heard this one's like better.
I refused to see episode 3. Someone paid me to go see it.
I mean, to be fair though, I didn't actually see the third Hobbit in theaters.
No, we saw that on demand or
I don't know
something.
if I saw the third Hobbit in theater.
Did I actually see all of it?
Yeah, we watched the whole
you?
thing.
Did I fall asleep?
I mean, yeah.
Probably not.
At some point, I'm sure.
That's what Bilbo Baggins.
Sorry to Hobbit fans. They need to get a good video game out there.
They can't get anything off the ground. Every time they do, they like fire their entire development team
But,
and
like-
ruin it.
Yep.
Guys, like the new Battlefront versus the old Battlefront. Yes, it's the old Battlefront. It's old. It's 2-player. if
And we'll
that.
never have
like, and,
old
like-
video games again.
And it's not like the best graphics, right? But like they managed to put together something people actually wanted, and now like
They can't do that to save their fucking life.
no.
There's no avenue from Star Wars that I'm excited about right now. Like, there's nothing they're making in TV that I want to watch. There's no movies I want to see. and there's no video games I can play.
Right,
So
now-
what the hell am I going to do here?
But that's
They
for
don't care
us.
about you, though.
Right, exactly.
To be fair,
But
there
there's
are,
more of me than ever before.
maybe because there are a lot of people who are
And every time
excited.
they make a bad one, there's more of me.
There's a lot of excitement for Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Coming
because
out.
that's a thing that they remember from before.
Right,
Yeah.
which is why I think that the Star Wars stopped themselves. They're like, or Disney was like, hang on,
Yeah, but the animation's worse.
it doesn't matter. What I'm saying is,
I'm saying
like,
they put in
I don't
less
give a shit.
effort
it
and
does-
money. into
I know
one.
that, but what I'm trying to make the point of is that Disney potentially could be looking like, okay, maybe we should stop worrying about what's over like in the future and take a look at what we have in the past and see if there's something like nostalgic that we can bring up, because that's what we might be
let's
missing
put
right
Darth
now.
Maul and fucking Solo.
Yeah. People love that decision.
That was
A decision.
that literally. I don't think that had to do with Disney though.
No,
Well, I
that
don't
was
know
Ron
about that.
Howard.
I
He
don't-
decided that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, his kids are big fans of Phantom
Because it really looks like. Let's find. Let's go find something. Find something people like. Darth Maul.
Yeah, it was literally no. It was the script said like the dialogue is indiscriminate, and the script said something like the stranger, and then it was like just fill it in with whoever you want. You want Boba Fett? Do you want Jabba the Hutt? Do you want Darth Maul? Whatever you want.
How about just someone who's not anyone?
No, it's got to be somebody, and it's just a tease like what's gonna happen.
It's Mon Mothma.
Yeah, she's like I'm behind everything. That would have been hilarious.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's better than Darth fucking
Nope,
Maul.
that-
He's dead.
No, he's not.
I watched him die.
No,
I
you
saw him
didn't.
die. Don't tell me he's not.
He's got robot legs.
I think that Star Wars, film-wise, needs a Feige.
Yeah.
Someone who, like, I know Kathleen Kennedy's kind of supposed to be that.
Clearly she's not
But
capable
it's
of it.
not. I know it's not that she's not capable. I think that's not the role she's used to. She's just usually dealing with like
Definitely.
a
Producing
single
movies,
Yeah,
yeah.
making a film. They
Yeah,
need
I
an
know how to make
architect
movies.
who like is there on every set, and they're letting the director kind of do what they want, but they're also there being like, hey, let's think about this in the grand scheme of everything.
Hey, don't piss off half your fan base, by the way. You can knock that off.
Yeah, but
Well,
you-
that's easier said than done, though, and that's the thing. It's like there aren't that many people who know how to do that.
Yeah.
It's not a problem that the movie business is used to solving.
Yeah,
Only
it's-
Marvel
yeah,
does
it's-
it.
DC
Yeah.
can't even do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's like.
This
Of
guy-
course, you
can
bring
you
someone
imagine-
who has history in the movie industry. They're not. Feige didn't have background in the movie industry.
No.
That might have been why he was able to pull it off because
No,
he
he
didn't have
did.
these like Did he?
No, yeah. You know, he came from other movies. It's just that he wasn't from the comics at all.
Oh, I thought he was a Marvel guy.
No, he was a movie guy.
Interesting.
Yeah. No, he came in. He was like, and Marvel came to him. They were like, "You want to do this?" He produced like other Marvel movies. Like he produced like Blade, and like
Oh, okay.
I think he worked in the Spider-Man movies too. But like he knew those people. And
Yeah.
yeah. No, he was a movie guy first, and then he was like, "Yeah, these Marvel movies."
Because
are pretty good."
I feel like the problem with Star Wars is they're trying to do it like any movie, where it's like,
It's a franchise.
It's Rogue. You got Rogue One. Go do that movie, and then you got Solo. You go do that.
And I
movie.
think that's not a bad idea. Like I like that idea because then you get very different movies.
But somebody's got to be at
Yeah.
the helm.
Yeah, you need the producer at the stopgap who's
Yeah.
like, "Yo, that ain't Star Wars no more. What you doing?"
Yeah, don't put like improv people in charge of your Solo movie.
Yeah,
That's weird.
this isn't a Judd Apatow movie. Get out
Yeah,
of here.
what are you doing?
Yeah.
I know what you're doing. You're wasting money.
Yeah. No, we're doing the thing. This is what you said. You said get
make anything.
good directors and put them in charge of the movie. That's
Yeah.
what you said.
That's yeah.
Like, I did say that, but like not just any director.
Who
Like-
hired them though? Like
Yeah.
who? Like,
Yeah.
you
Like
know,
it
you
has
make
to fit.
Like I
what
heard
you're doing.
And by the way, Disney is doing what you said. Like they threw out all the movies they were working on.
Oh.
Good.
And they said we gotta slow down and we gotta try
Yes.
better. That also includes, unfortunately, the Logan director James Mangold Boba Fett movie.
Oh.
I mean, I don't
Yeah.
care about Boba Fett.
I don't either, but like
but
if I
that
have to see a Boba Fett
combination-
movie, I'd love to see the dude who made Logan make a Boba.
But maybe you
Fett
don't have to see a Boba Fett movie.
I never will. Like at the end of the day, it's never gonna happen.
Well.
It will. It's just, it'll
Yeah,
be,
I bet it will.
will.
Don't make it
It's
sad.
too easy because you
it's too easy. You put anybody in the mask.
put anyone in the mask.
The end.
But as long as he doesn't have the.
Not Tamara Morrison's stupid freaking Australian voice.
Oh yeah.
in Star
Oh no, he
Wars.
was in the Sarlacc pit and it fucked up his voice.
The end. That's all you need.
There you go. I fixed it.
Fine.
Yeah.
Except it's probably gonna be.
You know, the
origin
prequel movie
or
won't be
something.
about like he'll be in the purple suit first or whatever, blue.
So
Anyway.
did the prequels destroy the Star Wars franchise?
I mean, no, obviously they didn't because people still want to see them. And now they
Precisely.
want
Did
them.
they lay the seeds?
No, but this
for
is
it?
my point.
I think Star Wars laid the seeds for it.
No matter how bad Star Wars ever does,
Yeah.
they could run it into the ground for 20 straight years.
They are.
It will never detract from episodes 4 through 6.
I mean, like, kind of, unless like they go back and change episodes 4, 5, and 6, with
Which
the new
they
stuff
did.
they do, which indeed they did. And now it's like I have to go bust out a Laserdisc player to watch real Star Wars movies.
But you know what the real
yeah,
Star
I
Wars
do,
is.
but like
Yeah, you
surviving
remember, but
generations
it's not
won't.
gonna be
Man,
remembered for long.
you wanna do a power play, like get the fans behind you.
Yeah,
move.
put out those old movies on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Please.
I have read conflicting things about that, about how like Lucas still owns them, so they can't, or maybe
Right.
he
Well, you know
doesn't,
who
so they
did?
can.
Fox owned A New Hope.
Really?
Yeah. Not anymore.
But you know what I mean? Like,
Interesting.
that would be the move, like, hey, guys.
Yeah, they couldn't have been like, okay, we put out Empire and Jedi in the original formats, and that's it.
Right.
No. Now they got it all. So
Yeah, well, there you
I
go.
think it's coming.
Put them out. Take my money.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just I want the THX remastered version. Just clean them up.
Yeah.
Fix up the sound to be what it was, but
Yeah.
good. That's it. But even then, like, people are gonna go see it and be like, nobody jumps upside down and, like, you know, had a double-bladed
But they'll
lightsaber.
get it would get them a win with like the hardcore fans.
That's true.
Yeah.
The older hardcore fans who are now so
so few of
divided
them.
and scattered to the
Yeah.
winds.
Yeah.
They'd be like, hey, we still know what we're doing. Look what we got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they need a win at
This
the
is-
utmost edge
Yep, that's
of
the
need.
glass-breaking moment.
You
Here's
mean when all is dark, have this and there will be light
Yeah.
from Galadriel?
here's my
When they
thing.
reach a point beyond
I was going to
tears.
say at the turn of the tide.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now here's a question. So, like, okay, they said they're gonna like hold back on like they're gonna hold back the tide of ever expanding spin-off movies.
They should, yeah.
What is one thing they should do that would make things feel like it's getting back on track?
Besides re-release the originals?
Because that, I think, is...
Okay, I think that should be yours. Like, re-release the Blu-ray.
Yep.
Well, you
4K.
also said a very good video game.
Yeah,
That
a good
would-
video game.
I would be fine with that, too. But that's going to take some time.
Yeah, video games- good video games take time.
No one that would do it either. Mm-hmm. There's enough of the fan base doesn't care about
Yeah.
video games. They're older, and you still need
Yeah,
them.
but you
So maybe a
do...
combination of
But you
these
need, like, the
things.
people who, like, don't necessarily care about Star Wars and maybe got turned off by some of
Yeah.
the things that happened recently, and they might be brought in by a good Star Wars
Well,
video
you
game.
definitely need to stop the bleeding and ending the horrible publicity from Battlefront
Yeah.
is one thing.
Yeah.
Ending the horrible publicity from Solo is another thing. Like, you've got to stop these things that just look bad, that people who aren't even really paying attention hear and see.
Right, they just go like, oh, I heard that movie was garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Anything.
heard they screwed up the video games. Like, it sounds like they can't do anything right. Like, you
Yeah.
gotta stop.
Yeah.
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 So that
So, and I think
applause in the movies.
I think Star Wars Land is going to help immensely
I hope
if
so.
it goes
If
well.
they do a good job, yeah.
If it goes well, I think that'll help
it should,
the
by
general
rights.
public
Yeah.
to be excited once again.
And a lot of people go to Disney World. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
a lot of people.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I think that their quality control, like you said, is all over the place.
It's all over the
Like
place.
there's the
Yeah.
super high end, the super low. Like
Yeah.
it's,
It's
I mean,
like, yes.
it's hilarious.
yes,
Like they
yes.
get
And
the
maybe that's good. That's a good idea.
I don't right
Because like everyone, it's Star Wars is accessible to everybody.
it is like that in its own way is like genius, and it's also kind of minimizing the like aftermarket, making like knockoff products because it's just like you can still do that, but like you
like-
could still buy this actual thing that we made for
Right.
like $1.
Yeah, like if you're buying your laser sword, you sure, but like lightsaber is only
Yeah.
like $1 difference.
Yeah.
I should have made a lightsaber when we were there. They had like bins. This is what I'm talking about. How they're smart. They had these freaking bins, and like kids could come along and like put together their own lightsaber and design their own. You can make it look like an actual one from the movies, and they show you how to make those, or make your own. They all had hilts.
Like interchangeable parts.
Yeah, all the ones with the kids had hilts, because for kids, what had just come out? Force Awakens. And then Last Jedi was going to come out.
Yeah,
and so,
so
they
it's
all wanted the Kylo Ren.
Oh.
Every kid wanted the Kylo Ren look.
Interesting.
Every single one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like for them, that's what they saw. That's
Yeah.
what they were excited about.
Yeah.
Which I was just like,
Interesting.
And every adult wanted 4 robot arms, each with its own lightsaber, spinning.
I mean, like, dude, I would take that regardless of how crappy he is.
I mean, it's a great defense.
It's like a pwn all those kids.
But you know what I
Try and
mean?
block me.
Like, that's an example of like their quality control and just their marketing having like so much to have to deal with.
Yeah.
It's just like, all right, it's for the kids. What do the kids want? They like Kylo Ren. All right, but the parents with the
Yeah.
actual money, they got to buy the Kylo Ren, but they don't want the Kylo Ren for them. They want
Yeah.
We also gotta have like stuff in like every like for every income level. Like
Right.
some people can't afford
That's
the
the
fancy
thing,
thing,
and
so like we got
that's
stuff
what I'm
for
saying, maybe it
we
is
saturate
genius.
everything. We got everything. There's something for everyone.
Maybe that's not fair. Maybe like having some measure of quality control is actually kind of
Pricing out some people.
Yes, pricing
Right.
out people.
Or
It's gentrifying your target.
But do I want a garbage bag with the picture of Jabba the Hutt on it because like that's my price level?
Right, but
Yeah.
like if somebody wants that, I guess that they should
I
have it.
can't
I
afford
don't
the
know.
doll. I'll get the trash bag.
I was gonna say I did buy a cat scratcher. That was Jabba the Hutt. That was so
Yeah, it was the worst one. It fell apart like the day after.
No,
we had
it lasted longer than you think.
remember
It's just
seeing
the
that
cats
for a
really
while.
liked it.
If you have a really skinny
Yeah.
cat with really long ear tufts, like that's a funny joke.
That's gonna be great. I feel like they're spreading themselves too thin in
That's
that
the
department.
thing. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, I think that's the quality control issue.
think you're
It's
right, yeah.
like for the
I-
price point, you should be still getting the best product possible.
Yeah, I don't want low-income children to not have Star Wars stuff.
No.
Right. But you want the stuff that is already like premium price to like
To be at
worth
least
reflect
worth
that,
the money.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's
No,
fair.
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I could stand
Yeah.
for just like
Yeah.
less total stuff too, and less stuff that like nobody wants.
Right.
like Jar Jar Binks.
Like
Well, he's not. You're never going to see him again.
yeah, he's dead. He's gone. Stuff I don't want to see it in like the bargain bins. I don't want to see it, like left over
Yeah.
for like years in the aisle where it's all disorganized, a pile of crap, and they don't either. And so like they should be listening because like that
Exactly.
diminishes
The
the
brand.
brand. It makes it look crappy.
Yeah.
You don't want it to look crappy.
Yeah.
Don't make like a million action figures of like a character that no one cares about.
Yeah.
Like, don't do that.
But they're
Which is what
making
they
it-
did with the Phantom Menace.
they're
Like,
making it before the movie comes out, so they don't know.
Yeah, the toy people are.
You could guess that friggin' Chancellor Valorum is not going to be the breakout character.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you guys next time with another episode of Comic Line. I'm Sal.
Ethan.
I'm Ben.
And I'm
Thanks for
Tiffany.
watching.